Okay, so in rehabbing properties, the key to building your business is to increase the effectiveness of your target marketing and the number of quality leads. Ultimately, as you progress into becoming a professional investor, you're going from wholesaling to prehabbing to rehabbing. It's really about deal flow. And deal flow is critical in terms of keeping your momentum going. If you lose your momentum, you start to lose your workforce, your crews, everything that you put in place. You've got stops and starts. So the investors that I know that are professionals think of themselves as professional marketers as much as they think of themselves as professional investors. The marketing is key. If you set up your marketing program appropriately and you have a lot of leads to ferret out at any given point in time, you're going to end up with consistency. So there's a few ways to do that. You can track pre-foreclosures, track the NODs, the notice of defaults, all the way up to the courthouse steps, or you can negotiate with the seller who's in pre-foreclosure stage. You can look at don't wanter properties. These are properties where, for various reasons, the sellers just are not really interested in holding on to the property. They really don't care about getting top dollar. They just want out from underneath the property. I find that people in the middle of divorces sometimes are that way. Contact landlords, track eviction notices. Chances are that landlord is pretty tired of dealing with tenants going in and out, trashing the property, not paying the rent. They may be tired of holding the property, and if you just make it easy for them with an as-is sale, they might be willing to give you a discount on the property in exchange. The other key area I like a lot is probate and estate sales. And in my experience over the years, I've discovered that families that inherit properties that go into probate, typically it's an interruption in their normal life. And they see it as a burden in many cases. And a lot of times these properties have deferred maintenance, they need to be remodeled, and the family has no interest, or maybe they don't have the resources to renovate the property to get top dollar. So I've done some great deals with probate properties where if we make it clean, simple, and easy for the family to take the offer and sell it as is, the buyer gets a substantial discount on the property. I highly recommend setting up a network with divorce, probate, and estate planning attorneys to look for this type of deal. So in marketing and building your marketing machine, direct mail is one of the best ways to market for properties. However, if you're not following up your direct mail campaign with door knocking, your rate of return on that is going to be a lot less than if you followed it up standing on the door, going toe-to-toe with the seller, finding out ways to see if you can help them get out of their predicament. Door knocking is really key to making your marketing program and your direct mail campaign work properly. The other thing I recommend doing is following short sales on the MLS. The reality is, even now, after all these years that we've been dealing with short sales, less than 30% are actually going to closing, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Short sales can be your best friend in terms of tracking properties that eventually end up at the courthouse steps. The reason I believe that is that it gives you an opportunity to go visit the property while it's on the MLS, talk to the listing agent. If there's any disclosures or reports available, you have access to that. In other words, you're doing your due diligence on the property way upstream of the process of it coming into the trustee sale. Here's another concept: fix and flip in upscale communities. I like this one a lot. I've done some real home run deals with my investors over the last couple of decades. Instead of focusing on the bottom of the market where most of the competition is, everybody's trying to buy the cheap and expensive houses. If you elevate that to a higher price point and you know the right communities or with the right intrinsic qualities about those communities, you can make some really home run deals. The other thing I like about this, instead of doing 15 to 25 low-cost entry-level price point deals a year, you can do 3 to 5 and make as much or more money without having to go through all those transactions. Now, the downside would be that it typically takes more skin in the game, more capital, more resources to buy these more expensive properties, and that's where considering using hard money comes in. Is using the power of leverage to become a player on a higher price point can be a real advantage in the long run. The neighborhoods that we have in some of the affluent communities here in Contra Costa can be very eclectic. It's not uncommon for a community like Orinda to have a small 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,200 square foot bungalow next to a 5,000 square foot house that's been expanded and remodeled. So you can have one house valued at $600,000 and right across the street it's priced at $1.7 million. So you have a lot of upside in the after repair value for the property compared to going out into the tracts like Concord, East County, where your marketplace is homogeneous and you really can't afford to over-improve. You don't have a lot of headroom to do that. The other thing to consider in your marketing machine is I strongly suggest looking at social media marketing and internet marketing. That's one of the ways that we were able to fill the room today, looking for investors to come here. I teach courses on how to integrate social media and internet marketing with real estate. I've successfully integrated these technologies over the past 2 years, and there is a way to use this efficiently, not only to find deals, but to also find investors and money for your deals.